Hey guys, this is going to be another Artist Alley related video. So yeah, hey there! So you really want to become a con artist and you have some inspiration, you have some ideas for some products you want to show off to the world. And that's really beautiful, but it's also maybe a little scary to you. So to make your situation a little more easy, I would like to make this video where I will share my own tips for your first time going to a convention as an artist. And this video will be focused on things that are nice to know before you go to a convention for the first time. And I do plan on making 2 more videos about what you should do during the con and what to do after the con. So subscribe to my channel to watch those in the future, and let's just get started with the tips. So the first tip is maybe a little obvious, but it is to pick the convention you want to go to. And I like to do this based on what products I make. So I will go to anime and gaming conventions because it fits the products I make. But just keep that in mind when you want to choose your convention. I also really recommend to choose a small and local convention for the first time, because you just want to figure out how much you need to make and how everything works. And yeah, you just don't want to spend too much money on the first con. So pick a small and local con. The cost will usually be a little less expensive. So I really recommend for you to do that. Also make sure to research the con before you go. That is also very important, so you know how many attendees there will be and just what the con is generally about. Tip number 2 is regarding con prepping. So before you even start preparing for your convention, make sure you follow the rules, and if you don't follow them you will probably get kicked out or maybe even banned in worst case scenario, so just follow the rules please. So make sure you follow the rules of fan art and the setup, and maybe you sometimes have to have a seller's permit when you sign up. It will really depend from convention to convention, so don't expect the rules to be the same for every convention you sell at. So also make sure to start prepping early. So first of all, you don't want to stress out, because you will stress if you do it like a week before. You can manage to do it a week before. 2, your products will also look better if you put more time and effort into making them, and people will therefore be more likely to like them or buy them and be interested. And number 3, some of the times you need to order stuff online or buy things, and that can also take some time to arrive, so you will need the items for making your products basically. So you want those to be there as well. Regarding stock, you want to make a few of each item. This depends on the con you're going to. If it's a big con, you need to bring more stuff, and if it's a little con, you need to bring less stuff. So anywhere between 4 and 10 of each item is usually good. And if it ends out selling really well, you can make more of this item for the next con. Also figure out what you want your prices to be for each of the items. Don't undercharge your products. And also the other way around, don't overcharge your products. It's very difficult to figure out what your prices should be, but I really recommend to look at what other people are pricing their items as a guideline, and don't undercharge their prices. If you see an artist who has this price for stickers, for example, try to charge the same or a little more if you think your product is better quality. Of course, if the product doesn't have the same quality as the other product, if it's a little worse, you can of course charge a little under that price, but it's very hard to price your items, so just try to follow people's guidelines. As another guideline, you want to at least cover twice the amount of what you paid for the materials, and also add a little of your time in as well, because you want to charge the time you spend on making the product. Just make your price reasonable. Think about if you would pay the same price for that product. Also, don't be afraid to experiment with your prices. If an item isn't selling all that well, try make it a little cheaper. And if an item of yours sell out really fast, try to make the price a little higher. And if people really like your products, they will pay, that little extra for your items. So don't be afraid to experiment with the prices. For tip number 3, it's about you and your brand. This is very overlooked by a lot of people, but I think it is a very important part of you and your business, because you're going to this con, of course, to make some money, but you're also going here to network and show who you are and what you do, and showing your brand, of course. So what I do when I go to cons is that I basically tell people that, hey, I do crafts and I like this stuff. So if you like this stuff too, you should go and follow me on my YouTube and my Instagram. So I basically hand out my business cards where all this information is on, and I also tell people about it. And if they stay in touch with me on my social network, they will be more likely to buy something from me again at the next con. So one of the ways I try to make people remember my brand is by making everything I do kind of fit together the best way I possibly can. So this includes my setup, my packaging, and products. So when people come home and look up my business card, they will remember how my booth looked like. And yes, just remember your business cards so people can look you up on the internet or whatever, if you have an email. You don't have to get them printed at Vistaprint. The first 3 times I went to cons, I actually printed them out myself on cardstock paper and cut them out, and that's perfectly fine too. It's just cheaper if you want to get a lot of business cards to get them off Vistaprint, but only do it when they have like a deal going on, otherwise it can be a bit expensive, especially if you want double-sided business cards. And also make or get a stand for your business cards. This way they look very presentable and more professional. So yeah, that's just a few things about branding. It could be a lot more, but I'm just gonna keep it short on this one. So tip number 4 is all about your display. Display is actually a really important part of selling. If people like how your display looks, they would like to come and look at your products because they must be just as amazing as your display. So make sure that your display fits your brands and what you sell. I do a pink, brown, and wooden theme for my table because that is what I like. I think it looks really nice. But you don't have to, do the same as I. You should make your own. So pick your favorite colors and textures and create your very own display. Also bring a tablecloth to cover the ugly table you may get. You never know how the table looks, so make sure to bring a tablecloth. Also make sure that your products are organized on the table so they look nice, and also make sure to display the price so people will know how much they need to pay for your products. And I would recommend to try to display your stuff at some different levels, because if it just lays flat, it doesn't create any interest from a far away, and it's also kind of hard to see when you're actually at the table. So make sure there are some different levels. I recommend getting either some wire cubes, some boxes, or even pipes to display your stuff at different levels. And if you don't have anything against it, I actually recommend for you to display your stuff so people are able to touch the products. I do a lot of crafts, and therefore I like people to, touch them, because it isn't just a picture, it is a physical thing. And if they touch the product, they're more likely to buy it. So that is a sales trick, and I really recommend for you to try it out. And lastly, a quick tip. Make sure that your display is earthquake stable. I know it sounds so dumb, but people are sometimes stupid and accidentally push something off your table, so make sure that your table display is secure. Yeah. Lastly, make sure to do a test run at home where you know the dimensions of the table at the con, and just try to set it up just to get an idea of how long it's gonna take you and how it's gonna look. Tip number 5 is about the things you need to bring. I'm not gonna state the obvious, like your products and, all that kind of stuff, but I will recommend a few things. You will need to bring food because you will get hungry, and it is exhausting talking to other people. So bring at least some snacks with you. I also recommend for you to bring a friend or family member to help you with your booth. It's really nice to have, breaks and go to the bathroom every once in a while. I also recommend for you to bring some entertainment, some manga, Nintendo, a sketchbook, whatever you like to do. There will always be downtime at a con, so bring something to entertain you. I also recommend to bring some tape and scissors and pins and other things you might need for your display. And of course some packaging for your products so people can protect the items they buy from you. So sleeves for prints, boxes for big figures, and bags for plushies or other small things. But don't spend too much, on packaging. It is the first time, so. I also recommend for you to bring a notebook so you can keep track of all the sales and what the prices are for each of the products. And along with that, some change and maybe even a cash box if you have one or know someone you can borrow it from. And also bring a smile and your best mood. It will be a long weekend if you don't do it, so just do it. Tip number 6 is basically a bonus tip, and that is to have fun. It's your first con, so try to enjoy it. And very importantly, don't try to compare yourself to the other artists. I know it's really hard, but don't do it. But I do recommend going and talking to them, make a few friends as well. What's great about the artist alley is the artists, and they're usually really sweet and funny, and they can help you out with if you have any questions about the artist alley and how to do things, and just, problems in general. I also recommend for you to try not to get discouraged. It is your first time, and most artists don't earn a lot of money at the first con they go to. And they also make a few mistakes. But, don't worry, just keep going. Everything will improve if you just keep on going. Your art will improve, your table, your sales, and also your social skills. I'm a very introverted person at times, but I really learned how to put it aside and just enjoy the con with the amazing people by sitting in the artist alley, because people will come up and talk to you. So that is really nice. So just try to have fun. It is your first time. So that was basically it for the tips. I really hope you guys got something out of it and it helped you with your first questions you may have about the artist alley. If you still have a few, make sure to leave them down below in the comment section. If you're interested in more of these artist alley videos, I will have those other 2 coming up about what to do during the con and what to do after the con. So subscribe for those if you aren't already. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave me a big thumbs up. And until next time, remember to keep crafting. Bye!